All right, welcome to Shop Talks. I'm Rick Roth from the Ink Kitchen. Ink Kitchen is a sponsor of this. We're free information online, and we have a YouTube channel you should check out and subscribe to if you're smart. And we're sponsored also by Impressions, Los Angeles Apparel, Alpha Broder, Stalls, Reese, Hirsch, and Fairweather Johnson. And I have three very talented and intelligent and great to have them here. Folks that are going to talk about fashion trends. We have Millisa from Lane 7, Rodger from Next Level, and Alyssa from Bella+Canvas. And we're going to talk about some of what they're seeing out there in the world of fashion and garments. So, Alyssa, you're with the promo market, right?
Yes,
so,
yeah. Seems
like this whole promo used to be like the least fashionable. Like they were about, look and see what was fashionable 10 years ago, and then that's what they were wanting. So that cycle is a little closer, and what are some of the dynamics you're seeing there?
So something that I've noticed, I've worked in the promo space now for almost 10 years. One of the big things that I've noticed is that, can you hear me?
Eat your mic.
Eat my mic? Okay. Can you hear me better now? Sorry. So one of the things that I've noticed in my 10 years in the industry is that more Gen Z buyers are coming into that position of buying power, right? So Generation Z, they are coming in and they have the purchasing power at their company now. So a Gen Z person is not going to order a piece of apparel for their corporate job or for their corporate company that they can just wear to work and then not wear anywhere else. They want something that's going to be trendy. They want something that they can wear from day to night. So they say they have a shirt on with their logo on it for their job. They go into their job. They want to be able to put on jeans at the end of the day and be able to go out with their friends at night. So I think as that generation is coming into those purchasing positions, I think that's really where, in the promotional products industry, for example, that's where you're seeing a lot of that shift in them having a little bit more fashion-forward styles coming forward.
All right, Rodger, what's your territory and what are you seeing in it out there?
I cover Virginia up to Maine and then a little bit west. And I never thought about it. The younger people getting in that purchasing position made a difference. But, you know, really in the 90s in the apparel industry, the wholesale side of it has always been a little bit behind the retail side. And now I'm seeing that it's shortening. I'm seeing a lot of retail styles coming sooner into the wholesale apparel. And I didn't think about that. It's because the younger people are in higher positions. And I'm seeing a lot of that too. I'm seeing a lot more youthful energy. I'm seeing a lot more young people in the downtown areas and the cities that have kiosks in the mall with their new creative designs. I'm seeing a large influx of, because the industry is basically born from graphic design. That's the root of why we get into a screen printing business, is so we can design our art. And I'm seeing a lot of that, which is beautiful. The youthful guys opening kiosks, pushing their brands, and I've seen a huge uptick from Virginia up to Maine and a lot of the cities.
So, Millisa, what are you seeing out there? I think, you know, I told you that story in a place that I would have normally seen a commodity sweatshirt, if you will. I saw your boxes piled high at the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, and they were, you know, skyscrapers of boxes. It was like, I was like, yeah, Millisa, good job. But what are you seeing, and what changes has happened, because you've been doing this for a while?
Yeah, I think that you're seeing a few different shifts happen in a faster pace than we've ever seen them happen before. Talking to what Alyssa was talking about, the buyer transition is happening at a faster pace than we've ever seen that evolution happen in this industry before. COVID also brought our segment of the industry a kind of an interesting pivot of working from home. So you saw all of the workplace, part of the intrigue of going back to the office is, hey, you don't have to dress up anymore, right? You can still come in and maybe change out of your bathrobe and throw on a company branded t-shirt. So I think you're having that. I think the social media, TikTok, has transformed our industry completely in how people are seeing apparel and seeing it branded. I think those are kind of the things that you're starting to see. In terms of fabrications and things like that, looser is better, heavier weights are trending. Everyone wants that really authentic feeling, right? So this is why you're seeing, if I went to the mall yesterday, I went into Macy's, it was a ghost town in there, right? And I was looking around, I'm like, I hate all of this. But if I go online, I can find something that is dictated to my taste, feels more authentic, which is what our brands serve, is to give your customers and your brands a level of authenticity and some control over that buying process.
I always wondered during COVID, did you only sell things that look good from here up?
Crop tops.
Can I say something to that point too?
Sure, go ahead.
And I've noticed the exact same thing in Richmond, Virginia, which is where I live. We've got Short Pump Mall, Stony Point Mall. There are these huge, giant, fancy malls, and they are ghost towns. You walk into Saks, you walk into Macy's, there's places leaving, but if you go to Carytown, you go to Northside, Lakeside, you go to all these pockets where there's 17 Nashville-style boutiques. They are booming 24 hours a day, 1 o'clock in the middle of the day. The artisans, the local made stuff, those stores are booming. And I go to malls, and half the time I'm lucky if there's one person that does some kind of apparel. So,
the other big trend I'm seeing, I think we can all agree to this, your buys are not as big volume-wise, but they're spending the same amount of money, right? So they're looking for an elevated product, but they may only be running 2,000 instead of 5,000 units of it. So the demand for quality is at an all-time high because they know that they can go out and get it, right? Somehow through the internet and everything that's happened, they figured out how they can source around almost anybody and end up with an inferior product, which is why I think you're seeing the commodity brands start to fall to the wayside and kind of the demand of what people are looking for because there's been that price shift.
Does it seems to me that like taste is so all over the place. Like it used to go sort of up and down. Now you have like a huge segment that still wants like thin ring spun shirts, and then people now that hate that. And that I have probably the trendiest customer I've had. They want. I know that 5 years ago they would have wanted a thin fitted shirt, and they ordered the biggest, boxiest shirts that you can imagine. That must be driving you crazy, and what do you see out there, I guess?
I mean, I do see that to some extent, but I will say my first question whenever I call on one of our customers, I ask them what their favorite shirt is. And it's either this person or us every time. That's their favorite shirt. And then I keep talking to them, and then I ask them, what's your best-selling shirt? And it's the one she's talking about. It's not us. You know, it's not the higher end, it's not the Lane 7. So to me, there is a disconnect of getting that shirt out into the industry instead of the, 1,000-piece shirts, inexpensive,
I see a lot, because I print for people, both contract and direct, I do see a lot less price resistance. Like they're not, very, very rarely are they asking for the absolute cheapest price. They might want like, what's a little less but close or something, but they're not, very few people just want the absolute cheapest shirt.
I think everyone's figured out no one's wearing it.
Well, I always say, do you want to have people wash their hubcaps with it, or do you want them to wear it for the next, 3 years, hopefully no more than twice a week?
3 times a week is what we're going for. I don't do laundry that often, so I'm only thinking about my own laundry pile right now.
What are you gonna do?
But no, I think the other thing that you're seeing is I completely lost my train of thought.
All right. So what about other segments of the business? Like, are they changing at all? Like athletic, that changing? I mean, I'm seeing it a little bit. That where all athletic printing was on, boxy ring spun, boxy open end shirts. Not anymore. What are you seeing in that way?
So something that I've seen with those more boxy styles, when I look at the demographic of it, like who's ordering it, what parts of the country is ordering it, I think certain parts of the country are also ordering it for different reasons, right? So the Midwest. I'm from Minnesota originally, so people in Minnesota are going to order a boxy t-shirt for a different reason than where I live in Scottsdale now. In Scottsdale, they're going to order it because it's trendy, it's cute, that's what people want, but in Minnesota, they're going to order it because that's what's comfortable for them in Minnesota, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so
You're 100% right,
Yeah.
and I never thought about that. I always kind of just assumed that there was this kind of person that orders the comfort color. There was this kind. Well, I was down in Smithfield, Virginia, which if y'all have never been, it's the most beautiful little small city on the planet. And the younger girls there are buying the comfort colors because they want that 90s kind of oversized vibe, and then they wear it with leggings. It's not just Hatteras, North Carolina, people doing it. So you're very right. It's different in every single area.
So I got to ask, because I got the Lane 7. So is it crew necks, zip hoodies, or pullover hoodies? What are people going for right now?
Last year was all about the zip. That's done. The crew neck. So I think COVID screwed everyone on our side of the business. It screwed all of us, for all of you, for a very long time. I think we're finally rebounding inventory-wise. But what you're seeing is dramatic shifts in buying patterns that still don't make any sense. We saw a huge influx of crews and zips, I think because in 21, there weren't any hoodies. So what did you have to buy? You had to offer a zip and you had to offer a crew. Why are browns trending? Because there weren't any other colors available at the end of 2020. So we were kind of trying to get back into the cycle of normal, seeing the trend head back towards a hoodie, but crews are still pacing heavier than they ever have before. I think the other trend that I'm curious to see, two trends I'm curious to see if they pan out. One, I think tri-blends and CVCs are going to come roaring back. They took a nosedive over the last 5 years. You couldn't sell one to save your life. And then I think women's trends, I think a junior's fit or a women's fit is going to start, you're going to start seeing more and more requests for that we haven't seen in the last 5 years.
Interesting. All right. It's on recording, so next year we're going to hold you to it.
They're already selling it. That's how I know I'm right.
correct.
All right. What about this is a question that comes around and around. What about sustainability with its many definitions? Are buyers caring about that? Like how the shirts are made, where they're made, what the materials are, what's going to happen with them after they wear them?
Well, so early on in the wholesale industry, and y'all can tell me if I'm lying, nobody cared. Like nobody cared in the wholesale industry for the longest time. Since I started with Next Level about 7 or 8 months ago, people actually care now. And it's great. The small artisan shops, one of the first questions I get is about sustainability. So people actually are caring. It used to be, 15, 20 years ago in the industry, you'd throw recycled around, you'd throw American made, and a handful of people cared, government contractors cared, but most people really didn't. And now people are a lot more conscious. They're a lot more aware, and it does matter.
So Melissa, am I the only one that bugs you about this question?
No, but I think what no one is saying is they're not buying it. They may ask for it, but the price difference, right? You like, oh, yeah, sure, I can, you want something sustainable? It's $10 a shirt for the blank, then you're gonna add the decoration on it. One thing I'm really proud of Lane 7 of doing is that's one of our big initiatives is to change that conversation, is that it's actually cheaper to manufacture fully recycled product than it is to not do it. So, we've got a hoodie for less than $9 that's 100% sustainable that you can go out and make 100 points on.
Good sales pitch.
Thanks.
Good sales pitch.
You hearing those questions?
I think in the promotional space, what I'm seeing when it comes to eco-conscious buyers, again, it kind of boils down to where at in the country they are or where they're at in the country. I would say a lot of my customers on the West Coast or even on the East Coast, they're wanting something that's more eco-friendly, that is sustainably manufactured, that a company, and they want to work with a company that actually cares about where their product is coming from, how it's made, what we're putting into it. But people, again, in the center of the landlocked states, a lot of times aren't as eco-conscious as the outward states. And back to the Gen Z demographic as well, I think that the generation, Gen Z, I think is a lot more conscious about what they put on their body, what they wear. Like we talked about a little bit earlier, they'll spend more money. They will not buck you on price at all, because they will purchase something that costs more if it's going to last them longer and it's going to be worn. So I think it kind of boils down to those two things again.
You just mentioned something that I gotta say I had not heard for a long time, and in the last year, about the durability of the product. Are you hearing more of that? This fashion customer, they do like bicycle crazy stuff. Sort of like they might be with surfing. Nobody surfs, but they buy surf shirts. Nobody does skateboarding really, but they buy skateboard. This might be the next thing. It's a bicycle craziness stuff. And we're about like how long the shirts are going to last and whether their seams are going to pull apart and stuff like that. And I'm getting a lot more questions like that. Is that common, or is that an outlier, you think? Durability, I guess.
I mean, I will say that there still is a lot of that mindset that it has to be a beefy tee, it has to be a 6-point, 7 ounce.
Be durable.
To be durable, whereas we've got the festival tee sales pitch. It's a good thin shirt, but it still has a lot of singles. So that is kind of going away a little bit because of the extra stitching, like you said. So durability, I mean, I think everybody knows Lane 7 Next, like for us, I don't think anybody, do you get questioned on quality? Like I think everybody knows that Bella, Next Level, I mean, they know that quality's there by just touching it.
I think that question really stems from fast fashion. Shein, right? You can go on Shein and you can buy a fantastic dress, honestly, for like $7, right? It won't last you more than 4 washes. Right?
Might not last you through the night, right?
I think
you're with the wrong person.
I think we are receiving the hate or the inquiries because of that, because of fast fashion and what people are buying outside of our industry at retail. I think that's where that mindset's coming from. And I think, it's our job to say, like, this isn't how this stuff is produced. It's not like made yesterday, shipped tomorrow kind of stuff.
I think that's a very interesting answer. Thank you. Maybe open it. Do you have other things you want to say about where fashion's headed in the garment industry, or should we open to questions? All right. You got some experts here that are seeing a scope that probably most of you don't get to see. Ask away here.
Do you want me to walk out with the mic?
No, I think, where's Pam? Oh, she's not here. I have another mic in the back. Well, I'll sacrifice my mic.
I'm doing it.
No, you don't need to do it. Do we have questions? I'll just repeat them. Questions? You want to repeat the question?
Yeah, so for college and fraternities specifically, I think the Greek market is what you're looking for. Are they as price sensitive? Are they looking for something different, more than commodity based? I think they're one of the least price sensitive groups in the world. So I know I was in a sorority, I was spending my parents' money, $30-40 on a t-shirt at a time, every other week. I didn't care.
One thing that has shocked me about sorority and fraternities, Southern sororities really big on garment dyed shirts, like big garment dyed shirts, like a lot seeing that, which is kind of surprising.
So in Greek, your focus is going to be an oversized garment dyed shirt, right? Next Level's got a new one, I've got one. There's a lot of Bella stuff. like for the tighter fit, like the baby rib stuff. Their sorority girls specifically fit in two different demographics. Either it's their dad's t-shirt and shoes, right, with biker shorts, or it's super tight fitted in really baggy dad jeans. But that's it's nowhere in between that I've seen.
Well, so Charlottesville is where UVA is, and the big screen printer there that does all of the fraternities, pretty much has a lockdown on UVA, tri-blend. Everybody, like 80% of his shirts are tri-blends. That's UVA in a small city of Charlottesville. You go to VCU, which is a downtown college in a city, and you'll see 6-ounce champion tees. You'll see the big thicker shirts. So it's kind of just different, like Alyssa was saying, it's different for the area and the territory, so you kind of have to just understand your demographic. And usually, whatever the stores around them carry, it reflects what the college carries. So if I go to Richmond and I stop in and give a shirt to all the sneaker shops that are around, that tells me what the vibe is at that college and what kind of style to lead with. And
one thing that I'm sure would all agree on, it's never been harder to figure out what people are going to want. Like I think in the past you could kind of predict it for a longer period of time, and I think, Melissa, you mentioned earlier that the cycle is quicker and that it's very hard to ascertain that just because you went to New York and saw something doesn't mean that's what's going to fly in Texas.
And it's trickling so much quicker, just like retail is. So retail changes with a hip-hop video. Retail could change in a second. Now wholesale is changing. To me, it seems like it's changing just as quick.
And it's not staying. I think that's the biggest challenge. And I think this is where most mills are really going to be challenged in the next few years, is that we can't, from an inventory standpoint, it's very hard for us to invest in a style, and it takes us 6 months to bring in anything. So if I bring in something that's in style right now, it ain't going to sell in 6 months, right? This hot market piece has been a big challenge. I think Bella+Canvas is one of the few that has really risen to that challenge of meeting that fast fashion space, but it's going to be challenging.
You ever read Gildan's stock reports? All they talk about is their big giant plan is to cut SKUs, to simplify. That really the last 4 stock reports, that's their giant plan, is to just offer less. So I guess that's an opportunity for all of you, because I don't think everybody wants the same thing, do they?
If it's not selling at Gildan, I don't think any of us want it.
Other questions? Got an opportunity here. Smart folks up here. All right, any final fashion comments? And then they'll stick around if you want to. If you're just too shy to ask in public, they'll stick around for a few minutes to answer. But any other last words? Any other things you thought about for fashion you didn't get to say?
Well, I will say, so I cover Virginia up to Maine. Our booth is over there. It's really tiny. It's not big and pretty like these guys. But if you stop in and get scanned, we're really big on getting out samples to our customers. So even if you're an end user, if you want to try a tri-blend to see what it's going to look like printing, don't hesitate. Get scanned. We've got our Southeastern rep, we've got our Texas rep here, and I'm the Northeastern rep. So we're more than happy to send you guys a couple shirts and some samples to try to burn them up. If you got a creative idea, if you're pitching somebody and you want a shirt to show them, just let us know. Don't hesitate.
We'll follow up on that. I've always been big on showing people an actual shirt, but I've never done it more than I do now. People want to touch and feel the actual thing. They don't want to see a description or a picture, and it's something new. We can't keep samples. We got to bring in samples. The whole idea of a showroom, oh my God, by the time you would have it set up, it would all be outdated or unavailable.
Yep. Sales is all about the experience right now. It's all about the 4-minute TikTok video for the TikTok shop. It's all about the experience. So if you don't have something to show them,
Well, I think to get back to kind of answering your question, I find it really helpful to show them what they think they want, right? So get that sample in, like, this is what you described. And then they're going to be like, no. This is right. It's going to open up that conversation and get them closer to what they want. what through a lot of questions, like if you call any of us, like you're like, I'm looking for this, we're going to have about 8 follow-up questions to figure out, we're going to get you exactly what you're actually looking for. I send a lot of people or talk people through like, this is what you asked for, but this is what I think you actually need. And 9 times out of 10, oh, you were right. Yeah. Yep.
Alyssa, anything, last words?
No, I don't think so. This is my first Impressions Expo, and I am a little bit overwhelmed right now. So, brand new to apparel. So, yeah, no, this is great.
That's actually a good message. I think it is overwhelming. And if you're
Yeah.
first time here, it's really hard to figure out who you can trust and who not to. And one reason that I have these is that these are people that you can trust that will give you straight answers when you're walking around, because there are some people here that you cannot. On that note, I
That's
think
good
I'll
to know.
end. We'll,
Cut his mic.
boom.
Cut his mic.
So, anyway, I want to thank our sponsors again, Los Angeles Apparel and Hirsch, and Fairweather Johnson, and Alpha Broder Stalls and Reese, and Impressions Magazine. And again, check out inkitchen.com, free information. Check out our YouTube In Kitchen videos, of which this will be one. And how about a hand for our presenters here?
And if y'all didn't get your free shirts, show Stalls some love. They're the ones that have that booth set up where you're printing your own shirts. It might look like it's overwhelming. They're doing free shirts, so make sure right outside by the check-in you check out Stalls.
All right, thanks for coming.